Hyun wiped down the steel counter for the third time that morning. The cafeteria was quiet. Most station workers had already eaten breakfast and left. He liked these quiet moments. They reminded him of simpler times, before the war, before everything changed. The war had ended 6 months ago. The Lumineth Empire had lost. Hyun remembered watching the news broadcasts, seeing their beautiful crystal cities crumbling under human weapons. He had been a medic during the war. He had seen too much death on both sides. When it ended, he could not go back to his old life. So he came here, to Diplomatic Station Harmony 7, and became a cafeteria worker. It was peaceful work. Simple work. He made food, served food, cleaned up. No one died in his cafeteria. The doors slid open. Captain Nam walked in, his face tight with worry. Behind him walked 6 guards. Between the guards walked a figure that made Hyun stop moving. She was Lumineth. Even Hyun, who knew little about aliens, could tell she was important. Her skin looked like pale crystal, catching the light in strange ways. Her eyes were large and completely silver. She wore simple gray clothes, but she moved like water, smooth and graceful. Her hands were bound in energy cuffs that glowed blue. "Keep moving," one guard said, not unkindly. The Lumineth woman said nothing. She did not look at anyone. Her face was blank, empty of all feeling. They walked through the cafeteria and out the other side. Hyun watched them go. Something about her silence bothered him. "That's Princess Velara," said Ji-woo, Hyun's supervisor. She had walked up beside him without him noticing. "She arrived last night." "A princess?" Hyun asked. "Yes. She is the daughter of the Lumineth Emperor. The treaty requires a member of their royal family to stay here, to make sure they keep the peace." Ji-woo's voice was soft. "She is a hostage." Basically. Hyun nodded slowly. He understood. After losing the war, the Lumineth had to give up something valuable. Someone valuable. "Poor girl," Ji-woo said. "I heard she has not spoken since she arrived." Over the next few days, Hyun saw Princess Velara several more times. The guards always walked her through the cafeteria to reach the medical bay. Each time, she looked thinner. Her crystal skin, which had caught the light so beautifully, started to look dull. On the 3rd day, Hyun heard the station doctors talking at lunch. "She refuses all food," Dr. Kang said, frustrated. "Every meal we bring, she does not touch. She will not even look at it." "What does she want?" another doctor asked. "Nothing. She says nothing. She just sits in her room and stares at the wall." On the 4th day, alien diplomats arrived. Hyun saw them through the cafeteria windows, important-looking beings from a dozen different worlds. They went to see the princess. They left looking confused and worried. On the 5th day, Lumineth elders came. Hyun recognized their crystalline features, similar to the princess but older, more faded. They stayed for hours. When they left, one of them was crying. Their tears actual drops of liquid crystal. "She will not eat for any of us," the elder told Captain Nam in the hallway. Hyun heard it while taking out the trash. "She feels she has betrayed her people by living while they suffer." On the 6th day, famous chefs arrived. They brought incredible-smelling dishes from across the galaxy. Hyun watched them carry plates of food that glowed, food that floated, food that sang quiet songs. All of it was rejected. On the 7th day, the station went quiet with worry. Hyun heard whispers everywhere. The princess was dying. If she died, the treaty might break. The war might start again. That evening, Hyun saw her again. The guards were taking her back from the medical bay. She could barely walk. 2 guards supported her on each side. Her skin looked like frosted glass now, barely holding light at all. As they passed through the cafeteria, Princess Velara stumbled. The guards caught her. For just a moment, she looked up. Her silver eyes met Hyun's eyes. Hyun saw something in that glance. Something the diplomats and doctors had missed. It was not anger in her eyes. It was not stubbornness. It was grief. Deep, terrible grief. He knew that look. He had seen it in the mirror after the war. He had worn that face when his friends died, and he lived. That face that said, "How can I eat when they cannot? How can I live when they are gone?" The guards moved her along. But Hyun kept thinking about her eyes. That night, Hyun could not sleep. He lay in his small room and thought about the princess. Everyone was trying to make her eat. They brought her fancy food. They gave her speeches about duty. They reminded her of treaties and politics, but none of them just sat with her. None of them acknowledged her pain. The next morning was day 8. Hyun came to work early. The station felt tense. He heard people talking in worried voices. "Emergency meeting," someone said. "The princess has maybe one more day. They are talking about force-feeding her," another person whispered. "But that might break the treaty." Hyun made his decision. He found Ji-woo in the storage room. "I want to bring her a meal," he said. Ji-woo looked at him with surprise. "You? Hyun, dozens of people have tried. Diplomats, chefs, her own people." "I know," Hyun said. "But they tried wrong." "What do you mean?" "They brought her fancy food. Special food. They tried to make her want to eat." Hyun shook his head. "That is not what she needs." Ji-woo studied his face for a long moment. She had known Hyun for months. She knew he had been a medic in the war. She knew he understood pain. "What will you do differently?" she asked. "I will just sit with her," Hyun said simply. "And I will not make her feel alone." Ji-woo thought about this. Then she nodded. "I will talk to Captain Nam." "But Hyun, if this does not work, they will force-feed her. You will have one chance." "I understand," Hyun said. An hour later, Hyun stood outside Captain Nam's office. The captain was not happy. "A cafeteria worker?" Captain Nam said. "We have had ambassadors fail, and you think you can succeed?" "I was a combat medic, sir," Hyun said quietly. "I know what it looks like when someone has given up. And I know what they need." "What do they need?" Captain Nam demanded. "Someone who understands," Hyun said. Captain Nam stared at him. Then he sighed. 1 hour. You have 1 hour. If she does not eat, we proceed with medical intervention. Understood?" "Yes, sir." Hyun went back to his cafeteria. He did not prepare anything fancy. He made simple rice porridge, the kind his grandmother used to make when he was sick. He made weak tea. He added a small bowl of kimchi on the side. Simple food, comfort food, food that said, "I am not trying to impress you. I am just offering you something warm." He carried the tray through the station hallways. Guards watched him pass. Everyone knew what he was attempting. Everyone knew it would probably fail. Hyun reached the princess's quarters. The door opened. He stepped inside. Princess Velara sat by the window, looking out at the stars. She did not turn to look at him. Her crystal skin was so dull now it barely seemed alive. Hyun set the tray down on the table. He pulled out a chair. And then he did something no one else had done. He sat down and started eating his own meal. He did not speak to her. He did not tell her she needed to eat. He just ate, quietly, in her presence. Outside the window, the stars shined cold and distant. Inside the room, steam rose from warm rice porridge. And for the first time in 8 days, Princess Velara turned her head to look at another person. Hyun ate slowly. He took small bites of rice porridge and chewed carefully. The room was very quiet. He could hear Princess Velara breathing. Soft and weak. He did not look at her. He just ate. Outside the door, he knew guards were watching through cameras. Captain Nam was probably watching too. Everyone wanted to see if this would work. Everyone expected it to fail. Hyun took a sip of tea. The warm liquid felt good going down his throat. "This is rice porridge," he said quietly. He was not really talking to her. He was just talking, the way someone might talk to themselves. "My grandmother made it for me when I was sick as a child. It is very simple. Just rice and water, and a little salt." Princess Velara said nothing, but Hyun noticed her head was still turned toward him. She was listening. I stopped eating once, Hyun continued. He kept his voice soft and calm. It was during the war. I was a medic. Do you know what a medic is? Silence. A medic helps wounded soldiers, Hyun explained. I tried to save people who were hurt. Sometimes I succeeded. Often I did not. He took another bite. Chewed. Swallowed. There was a battle. A bad one. I lost 3 friends that day. Good people. People I had known for years. Hyun's voice stayed steady, but his hands tightened slightly around his spoon. I survived without a scratch, not even a small wound. They died. And I lived. Princess Velara's breathing changed slightly. She was definitely listening now. After that battle, I could not eat, Hyun said. Food tasted like ash in my mouth. How could I eat when they could not? How could I enjoy anything when they were gone? Every bite felt like a betrayal. He paused. Let the words sit in the air between them. I refused food for 3 days. My captain ordered me to eat. Other soldiers tried to make me. They said I was being stupid. They said I had a duty. They said I was dishonoring the dead by starving myself. Hyun shook his head slowly. None of it worked. None of it helped. Princess Velara shifted in her seat. Just a small movement, but it was the first time she had moved on her own in days. Then a woman named Da-eun came to see me, Hyun continued. She was also a medic. She had lost people too. She did not order me to eat. She did not give me a speech about duty. What did she do? Princess Velara's voice was so quiet. Hyun almost missed it. It was the first time she had spoken in 8 days. Her voice sounded like wind chimes. Musical and strange. Hyun felt his heart beat faster, but he kept his voice calm. She sat down next to me. She brought 2 bowls of rice porridge. Just like this. She ate 1 bowl. She left the other bowl next to me. And then she talked. What did she say? The princess's voice was a little stronger now. She told me that eating was not celebrating, Hyun said. He finally looked at Princess Velara. Her silver eyes were watching him now, really watching him. She said eating was not dishonoring the dead. She said eating was just continuing. 1 spoonful at a time. 1 day at a time. Living because we still could, when others could not. Princess Velara's eyes shimmered. Hyun saw wetness gathering in them. She told me something else too, Hyun said. She said that the dead do not want us to die with them. They want us to carry them forward. Every breath we take, every meal we eat, every day we survive, we do it for them. We remember them by continuing. A tear fell from Princess Velara's eye. It was not like a human tear. It was a small drop of liquid crystal that rolled down her cheek and fell to the floor, making a tiny sound like a bell. My people are broken, Princess Velara whispered. Our cities are destroyed. Our culture is dying. I am here while they suffer. How can I eat? How can I rest? How can I be comfortable when they have nothing? You cannot help them by dying, Hyun said gently. He pushed the tray of food across the table toward her. Not forcefully, just an offering. You can only help them by living. By being strong enough to rebuild. By continuing. More tears fell from her eyes, each one making a small bell sound. I failed them. I could not protect them. The war was my fault too. I am royal blood. I should have found a way to stop it. The war was not your fault, Hyun said. Wars are complicated. They involve thousands of decisions by thousands of people. You were one person. You cannot carry all that blame. But I was a symbol, she said. My people looked to me, and I could not save them. No, Hyun agreed. You could not save them from the war. But you can help them after the war. You can be a symbol of survival, of continuing, of hope. Princess Velara looked at the food on the tray. Her hand trembled as she reached out. She stopped halfway. I am so tired, she whispered. I know, Hyun said. Everything hurts. I know. I do not want to feel anymore. I know, Hyun said. But feeling is how you know you are alive. Pain means you loved something enough to grieve for it. That is not weakness, that is strength. Princess Velara's hand moved closer to the spoon. Her fingers were shaking badly. It is just one bite, Hyun said softly. You do not have to enjoy it. You do not have to want it. Just one bite. For them. For your people who cannot eat. You eat for them. Her fingers touched the spoon. She picked it up. It shook in her grip. Hyun waited. He did not push. He did not hurry her. Princess Velara brought the spoon to the porridge. She took a small amount, lifted it to her mouth. Stopped. I do not deserve comfort, she said. It is not about deserving, Hyun said. It is about surviving. You survive today so you can help tomorrow. Princess Velara closed her eyes. More crystal tears fell. And then she put the spoon in her mouth. She swallowed. Her whole body shook with the effort. Then she took another bite. And another. Hyun watched quietly. He did not celebrate. He did not smile. He just nodded slightly. With respect. Princess Velara ate half the bowl before she stopped. Her hands were shaking too much to continue. But it was enough. It was a start. She set down the spoon and looked at Hyun. Really looked at him. What is your name? She asked. Hyun. Hyun, she repeated. The way she said it sounded like music. You are the first person who did not try to make me feel guilty for my grief. Grief is not something to feel guilty about, Hyun said. It is something to move through. Slowly. One day at a time. Will you come back? She asked. Her voice was small. Almost afraid. If you want me to, Hyun said. I do, she said. I do not want to eat alone anymore. Hyun stood up slowly. Then I will come back tomorrow. Same time. I will bring more porridge. Hyun? She said as he reached the door. Yes, thank you. Princess Velara's voice was still weak, but there was something new in it. Something that had not been there before. Hope. You are welcome, Princess, Hyun said. He left the room. Outside. The guards were staring at him with wide eyes. Down the hall, Captain Nam stood with Dr. Kang. Both of them looked shocked. She ate, Captain Nam said. It was not a question. He had been watching on the cameras. Yes, sir, Hyun said. How? Dr. Kang asked. How did you do what none of us could? Hyun thought about the question. I did not try to fix her, he finally said. I just sat with her in her pain. Sometimes that is all someone needs. Captain Nam nodded slowly. Will she continue eating? I think so, Hyun said. As long as she does not have to do it alone. Then you will visit her daily, Captain Nam ordered. That is your assignment now. Hyun bowed slightly. Yes, sir. He walked back to his cafeteria. Behind him, he heard Dr. Kang say to Captain Nam, a cafeteria worker succeeded where we all failed. Not a cafeteria worker, Captain Nam corrected. A human who understands suffering. That is different. Hyun smiled slightly as he walked. He thought about Princess Velara's tears and her trembling hands and the small amount of porridge she had eaten. It was not much, but it was a beginning. And sometimes, a beginning was everything. The next day, Hyun arrived at Princess Velara's quarters with another tray of food. This time, he brought rice porridge again. But he also added some steamed vegetables and a small piece of grilled fish. The guards let him in without question. Word had spread across the station. The cafeteria worker had done what no one else could do. People looked at Hyun differently now. As he walked through the halls, Princess Velara was sitting by the window again. But this time, when he entered, she turned to look at him right away. Her crystal skin looked slightly less dull than yesterday. A little bit of light caught in it. You came back, she said softly. I said I would, Hyun replied. He set the tray down and took his seat at the table. This time, Princess Velara stood up and walked to the table on her own. She moved slowly, carefully, but she moved. She sat across from Hyun. I thought maybe yesterday was a dream, she said. I thought maybe I imagined someone finally understanding. It was not a dream, Hyun said. He started eating his portion. How do you feel today? Weak, she admitted, but less empty. Is that strange? No, Hyun said. You are filling yourself back up. It takes time. Princess Velara picked up her spoon. Her hands still shook, but less than yesterday. She ate a small bite of porridge, then another. They ate in comfortable silence for a few minutes. Then Princess Velara spoke. Tell me about your world, she said. Earth. I have only seen it in war reports. I have only seen your weapons and your soldiers. Tell me what it is really like. Hyun thought about this. Earth is very beautiful, he said. We have oceans that cover most of the planet. Blue water everywhere. We have forests, and mountains, and deserts. Every place is different. What is your favorite place? She asked. There is a small village by the sea where I grew up, Hyun said. The water is very cold, but very clear. In summer, you can see fish swimming below. My grandmother lived there. She taught me to cook. Princess Velara listened carefully. Your grandmother taught you the porridge recipe. Yes, Hyun smiled. She said that good food does not have to be complicated. Sometimes simple is better. I think she was wise, Princess Velara said. She was, Hyun agreed. She died before the war. I am glad she did not have to see it. Princess Velara nodded sadly. I wish my people could have been spared seeing it too. Tell me about your people, Hyun said gently. Not the war. Before the war. What were they like? Princess Velara's eyes grew distant, remembering. We are called lumineth because we make light. Our bodies produce bioluminescence when we are happy. Our cities at night looked like living stars, buildings that glowed with 1,000 colors, streets that shimmered with the happiness of people walking them. That sounds beautiful, Hyun said. It was, she said quietly. We had art forms you cannot imagine. Music that used light as well as sound. Poetry that glowed different colors depending on the emotion. We had festivals where entire cities would pulse with synchronized light patterns. Hyun could hear the love in her voice. What was your favorite festival? The Festival of Deep Light, she said. And for the first time, Hyun saw her face brighten slightly. It happened once every year. Everyone would go to the deepest caves under our cities. We would turn off all artificial lights, and then, together, we would all glow. Thousands of us, creating light in the darkness. It represented hope. It represented that even in the deepest dark, we could make light together. That is beautiful, Hyun said. Princess Velara's face fell again. The caves are destroyed now. Most of our cities are rubble. There will be no more Festival of Deep Light. Maybe not in the caves, Hyun said. But could it happen somewhere else? Could your people gather somewhere and make light together again? She looked at him with surprise. I had not thought of that. Rebuilding is not just about buildings, Hyun said. It is about culture too. About keeping your traditions alive. Maybe in new ways, but still alive. Princess Velara ate more of her food, thinking about this. You give me ideas I had not considered, she said. Everyone else talks about treaties and politics. You talk about festivals and hope. Politics matter, Hyun said. But so do people. So does culture. If your people lose their culture, what are they rebuilding for? Over the next days, Hyun visited Princess Velara every day at the same time. Sometimes twice a day. Each time, she ate more. Each time, she looked stronger. They talked about many things. She told him about lumineth art and music. He told her about human philosophy and history. She taught him words in her language. He taught her Korean phrases. What does jung mean? She asked one day. You used that word yesterday. Jung is hard to explain, Hyun said. It means deep connection, a feeling of bond between people. It builds over time, through shared experiences. Once you have jung with someone, you are connected to them. Do we have jung? She asked. Hyun thought about it. I think we are building it. Yes. Princess Velara smiled for the first time. It was a small smile, but it changed her whole face. Her crystal skin caught light and held it, glowing softly for just a moment. You are luminescent, Hyun said with wonder. Yes, she said, looking down at her hands in surprise. I had not glowed in months. Not since before the war ended. I thought I had lost the ability. You were too sad, Hyun said. Now you have moments of happiness again. Small ones. But they are there. After 2 weeks, Princess Velara asked if someone else could join their meals. A young Lumineth woman named Yuna, who was her attendant. She barely eats too, Princess Velara said. She is suffering like I was. Maybe you can help her too, Hyun agreed. The next day, Yuna joined them. She was younger than Princess Velara, and she looked even more fragile. She barely spoke at first, but Hyun did what he had done before. He just sat with her. He ate his food. He talked about simple things. He asked gentle questions. Slowly, Yuna started eating, started talking, started healing. Other station workers began to notice the changes. They saw Princess Velara walking through the halls with more strength. They saw her attending meetings, instead of refusing to leave her room. They saw her actually listening to treaty discussions instead of staring at nothing. Ji-woo came to Hyun one day in the cafeteria. Whatever you are doing, it is working, she said. The whole station is talking about it. The princess is becoming active in the peace process. She is giving ideas. She is helping. She just needed someone to see her pain, Hyun said, instead of ignoring it. You are good at that, Ji-woo said. Seeing pain. Sitting with it. Not running from it. I learned from my own pain, Hyun said simply. 3 weeks after their first meal together, Princess Velara did something unexpected. She invited Hyun to walk with her in the station gardens. The gardens were a large section of the station with plants from many different worlds. Trees and flowers that glowed, that sang, that moved on their own. It was one of the few beautiful places on the station. They walked slowly through paths lined with strange and wonderful plants. I have been thinking about the Festival of Deep Light, Princess Velara said. About what you said. About keeping traditions alive in new ways. Yes, Hyun said. I want to hold a small version here. On the station. Invite all the Lumineth who are here. We could gather in the gardens at night and glow together. It would be small. Not like the old festivals. But it would be something. I think that is a wonderful idea, Hyun said. Would you come? She asked. You are not Lumineth. You cannot glow. But you have given me back the ability to glow. I would like you to be there. Hyun felt honored. Yes, I will come. Princess Velara stopped walking and turned to face him. In the soft light of the garden, her skin shimmered gently. You saved my life, Hyun, she said. Not just by making me eat. By making me remember why living matters. By making me feel less alone. You saved yourself, Hyun said. I just sat with you while you found your way back. Then thank you for sitting with me, she said. For not giving up. For treating me like a person instead of a problem to solve. You are not a problem, Hyun said. You are someone who survived something terrible. That makes you strong. Not broken. Princess Velara's glow brightened. She was learning to be happy again. Learning to hope again. And in learning those things, she was teaching her people that they could learn them too. Small changes, Hyun thought. One meal at a time. One conversation at a time. One person at a time. That was how healing happened. Not all at once, but gradually. Like dawn breaking slowly over a dark world. Together, they walked back through the gardens, talking about festivals, and hope, and the future. 1 month after Princess Velara first ate Hyun's rice porridge, she attended her first official treaty meeting. The conference room was full of important people from many different species. Human diplomats, alien ambassadors, military officers, all gathered around a large table. Captain Nam stood at the door, watching carefully. He still did not fully trust that the princess was stable. But when she walked in, even he had to admit she looked different. Stronger. More present. Minister Cho, the human representative to the Galactic Council, was leading the meeting. He was an older man, with gray hair and sharp eyes. He had not expected the princess to attend. "Princess Velara," he said with surprise. "We are honored by your presence. Please, sit." Princess Velara sat down. Yuna stood behind her, having become her constant companion. The princess's crystal skin glowed softly, a sign she was nervous but not breaking down. "I have ideas about the rebuilding process," Princess Velara said. Her voice was quiet but clear. "Ideas I would like to share." Minister Cho nodded. "We are listening." "The current treaty focuses only on buildings and infrastructure," Princess Velara began. "It talks about rebuilding cities and communication networks. These things are important, but they are not everything." "What else is needed?" asked an alien ambassador. "A being made of blue energy." "Culture," Princess Velara said. "My people need to remember who they are, not just where they live. The war took our homes, yes, but it also took our identity, our confidence, our joy." The room was silent. People were listening. "I propose cultural exchange programs," Princess Velara continued. "Let humans come to Lumineth worlds and teach us their arts. Let Lumineth come here and share our traditions. Let us learn from each other instead of just existing next to each other." Minister Cho leaned forward, interested. "What kind of cultural exchange?" "Everything," Princess Velara said, and her glow brightened with passion. "Music, food, stories, holidays. Let human children learn Lumineth light poetry. Let Lumineth children taste human food and learn human games. Let us build bridges between our people that are not just political but personal." A human general frowned. "These are our former enemies. Should we be so quick to embrace them?" Princess Velara looked at him steadily. "A human cafeteria worker saved my life. Not with weapons or treaties, but with kindness and understanding. He showed me that humans are not just soldiers. You showed me the same when you were soldiers. Should we not all try to show each other new sides now?" The general had no response to that. Minister Cho smiled. "I think the princess makes an excellent point. I will draft a proposal for cultural exchange programs. We will call them the Continuation Accords." Princess Velara looked surprised. "Continuation Accords?" "Yes," Minister Cho said. "A human taught you about continuing despite pain. Let us make that the foundation of our peace. Not just surviving, but continuing, growing, building." After the meeting, Princess Velara found Hyun in the cafeteria. He was preparing lunch for the station workers. "They listened to me," she said, her voice full of wonder. "Minister Cho is writing my ideas into the official treaty." "Of course they listened," Hyun said, smiling as he stirred a large pot of soup. "You had good ideas." "I learned those ideas from you," she said. "From our conversations. You taught me to think about people, not just politics." "You already knew how to think about people," Hyun said. "You just forgot for a while. I just reminded you." Princess Velara watched him work. "You make it look easy. Cooking for so many people." "Would you like to help?" Hyun asked. She looked surprised. "Me? I am a princess. I have never cooked." "So," Hyun said, "today you can learn. Here. Wash your hands first." And so Princess Velara, daughter of the Lumineth Emperor, learned to cut vegetables in a human cafeteria. Yuna joined them, and soon both Lumineth women were helping prepare the meal. Other cafeteria workers watched with amazement. Ji-woo smiled and shook her head. "Only Hyun could convince royalty to work in a kitchen," she muttered. When the food was ready, something unexpected happened. Princess Velara asked if she could help serve it. "I want to meet the people who live on this station," she said. "Not as a prisoner or a treaty piece, just as someone sharing a meal." So she stood behind the counter with Hyun and served food to station workers. At first, people were nervous. They did not know how to act around a princess, especially an alien princess. But Princess Velara smiled at each person. She asked them about their day. She thanked them for coming. Slowly, people relaxed. They started talking to her, sharing small stories about their lives. A human engineer told her about his family back on Earth. She told him about Lumineth family structures. They found unexpected similarities. An alien maintenance worker mentioned she liked gardening. Princess Velara's face lit up. We must talk more. Lumineth gardens are legendary. I can teach you about plants that glow. By the end of lunch service, Princess Velara was laughing. Actually laughing. Her whole body glowed bright with happiness, casting colorful light across the cafeteria. People stared in wonder. Many had never seen a Lumineth truly happy before. This is what they look like, one human whispered to another. When they are not broken by war. Word spread quickly through the station. The princess was not just healing, she was thriving, and she was helping others thrive too. A week later, Princess Velara held her small festival of deep light in the station gardens. She had invited all the Lumineth on the station. About 30 of them came, including Yuna and several others who had started joining the daily meals with Hyun, but she had also invited humans and other aliens. Please come, she had said to everyone. You cannot glow like us. But you can witness. You can see what we are. What we can still be. That night, the gardens were filled with people. Hyun stood with Jiwoo, Captain Nam, Dr. Kang, and Minister Cho. They waited quietly, as the Lumineth gathered in a circle. Princess Velara stood in the center. She raised her hands and began to speak in her own language. Her voice was musical, rising and falling like song. Then, slowly, she began to glow. Soft blue light at first, spreading across her skin. Then, other colors joined it. Purple, green, gold, pink. Her whole body became a rainbow of light. One by one, the other Lumineth joined her. Each person adding their own light to the gathering. The colors mixed and swirled, creating patterns that moved like living things. Soon, all 30 Lumineth were glowing together. The garden blazed with beautiful, shifting light. It pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. Like hope, tears ran down some faces in the watching crowd. Even Captain Nam, the strict military officer, looked moved. I have never seen anything like this, Jiwoo whispered. This is what war almost destroyed, Minister Cho said quietly. This beauty. This culture. We must make sure it never happens again. The Festival of Deep Light lasted for an hour. When it ended, the Lumineth were exhausted but happy. Many of them were crying, but with joy this time. Not grief. Princess Velara walked over to Hyun. She was still glowing softly, her crystal skin shimmering with many colors. Thank you for helping me remember this, she said, for reminding me that my people are more than our pain. We are also our light. You never forgot, Hyun said. The light was always there. You just needed a reason to let it show again. She reached out and took his hand. Her crystal fingers were warm. You gave me that reason. You and your simple rice porridge and your patient kindness. Around them, humans and Lumineth were talking together, sharing stories, making connections. Some humans were asking about Lumineth culture. Some Lumineth were asking about Earth. It was small. Just one night. Just a few dozen people. But it was a start. Minister Cho approached them. Princess, I have finished the draft of the continuation accords. I would like your input before I submit them to the council. I would be honored, Princess Velara said. Also, Minister Cho continued, I think we should acknowledge the person who started all this. He looked at Hyun. Your simple act of kindness has changed the entire direction of the peace process. You should be recognized. Hyun looked uncomfortable. I just made porridge, sir. You did much more than that, Captain Nam said. He had walked over to join them. You succeeded where trained diplomats failed. You saw a person where we saw a problem. That is a skill we need more of in this galaxy. I was just doing what anyone should do, Hyun said, sitting with someone in pain. It is not special, but it is, Princess Velara said softly. In a galaxy full of warriors and politicians, someone who simply sits with pain is very special indeed. Hyun did not know what to say to that. So he just smiled and squeezed Princess Velara's hand gently. Above them, the stars shined through the garden's clear dome, the same stars that had watched the war, the same stars that were now watching the peace, and in that moment, surrounded by glowing lumineth and curious humans and hopeful aliens, Hyun felt something he had not felt since before the war. He felt proud. Not of glory or victory, but of connection, of helping, of making things just a little bit better. That was enough. 3 months had passed since Princess Velara first ate rice porridge with Hyun. The station had changed in ways no one had expected. The cafeteria was no longer just a place to eat, it had become a gathering place. Every day at lunch, humans sat with lumineth. Aliens from different worlds shared tables and stories. The cold, professional atmosphere of the diplomatic station had become warm and friendly. Hyun still worked as a cafeteria worker. He had turned down several offers for better positions. I like my job, he told Minister Cho. I like feeding people. I like the conversations that happen over food. But his role had expanded without him really planning it. He now taught a weekly cooking class, where station residents learned to make human food. Princess Velara never missed a class. Neither did Yuna, or the growing group of lumineth who had started eating regularly again. The continuation accords had been approved by the Galactic Council. Cultural exchange programs were beginning. Human teachers were preparing to visit lumineth worlds. Lumineth artists were coming to Earth to share their light poetry and music. It was exactly what Princess Velara had proposed, and it was working. One morning, Princess Velara came to find Hyun in the cafeteria. She was excited. Glowing with bright gold and blue light, the council has approved a celebration feast, she said, to mark the official start of the exchange programs. They want to hold it here, on this station. And Hyun, they want you to organize the food. Hyun looked up from the vegetables he was chopping. Me? Why me? Because food is where this all started, Princess Velara said. Because you showed us that sharing meals is how people connect. This feast needs to be about connection, not just ceremony. When is it? Hyun asked. 2 weeks, she said. And Hyun? I want to help you plan it. I want to cook with you again. Hyun smiled. Of course. Let us make something special. Over the next 2 weeks, Hyun and Princess Velara worked together to plan the feast. They decided to serve food from many different worlds. Human dishes next to lumineth cuisine next to foods from dozens of other species. Everyone should see their culture represented, Princess Velara said. Everyone should feel welcomed. They recruited other station workers to help. Jiwoo managed the logistics. Yuna helped cook. Even Captain Nam volunteered to help set up tables. I never thought I would see the day, Jiwoo said to Hyun as they worked. A human, a lumineth princess, and a military captain working together in a kitchen. Times change, Hyun said simply. People change. The night of the feast arrived. The station's main hall had been transformed. Long tables stretched across the room, decorated with flowers and lights from many worlds. Hundreds of people were invited, representing every species on the station and dozens more coming from nearby systems. Hyun wore his simple cafeteria uniform. He had refused to dress up. I am a cook, he said. That is who I am. That is who I want to be tonight. Princess Velara wore traditional lumineth ceremonial robes, but she had tied an apron over them. I am a princess, she said with a smile. But tonight I am also a cook, just like you. When the guests arrived, they found something unexpected. The food was not being served by servants or waiting at a buffet. Instead, Hyun, Princess Velara, and dozens of volunteers were serving it personally, explaining each dish, sharing its story. Minister Cho arrived with a delegation from the Galactic Council. They looked surprised to see Princess Velara standing behind a serving counter, offering them food with her own hands. Princess, one council member said, shocked. You should not be serving. You are royalty. Tonight, I am not royalty, Princess Velara said. Tonight, I am someone sharing a meal with friends. Please, try this. It is a traditional Lumineth bread. Hyun helped me make it. The council member took the bread, looking confused but touched. All evening, people moved through the hall, trying food, talking, laughing. The divisions between species seemed to blur. A human child asked a Lumineth elder about their glowing skin. A Lumineth soldier shared war stories with a human veteran. And they found common ground in their shared experiences. Halfway through the evening, Minister Cho stood up and called for attention. The hall grew quiet. Tonight is a celebration, Minister Cho said. We celebrate the continuation accords. We celebrate peace. We celebrate the future. But we should also acknowledge how we got here. He turned to look at Hyun, who was standing near the kitchen entrance. 3 months ago, a princess was dying. The treaty was in danger. War threatened to return. Diplomats failed. Doctors failed. Political pressure failed. And then a simple cafeteria worker did what none of us could do. He sat with her. He shared a meal with her. He treated her like a person, not a problem to solve. The hall was completely silent now. Hyun did not use fancy words or complicated strategies. He used kindness. He used understanding. He used patience. And because of that, Princess Velara lived. More than that, she began to heal. And, in healing, she helped all of us see a new way forward. Minister Cho gestured toward Princess Velara. Princess, would you like to speak? Princess Velara stepped forward. In the light of the hall, her crystal skin glowed with every color imaginable. She was beautiful and strong, completely different from the dying woman she had been 3 months ago. I was ready to die, Princess Velara said. Her voice carried clearly through the silent hall. I had given up. I believed my people were broken beyond repair. I believed I had nothing left to offer them. And then Hyun brought me rice porridge. Some people in the crowd smiled. It was not fancy, Princess Velara continued. It was not special. But he sat with me while I ate it. He told me his own story of pain. He did not try to fix me. He just existed with me in my grief. And somehow, that was enough. She looked directly at Hyun. He taught me that survival is not betrayal. He taught me that continuing to live, to eat, to feel, to hope, these are not weaknesses. They are strengths. They are how we honor those we lost. By living for them. By building a future they would have wanted to see. Her glow brightened. Everything that has happened since the treaties, the cultural exchange, this feast, all of it grew from one simple act of human kindness. One person who chose to see my pain instead of looking away from it. She turned back to the crowd. This is what I have learned from humans. You do not just fight well, you heal well, you connect well, you understand that peace is built not with signatures on documents, but with shared meals and honest conversations and patience with suffering. Captain Nam started clapping. Then Dr. Kang joined him. Then Jiwoo. Soon the entire hall was applauding. Hyun felt his face grow warm. He was not used to this kind of attention. He tried to slip back into the kitchen, but Princess Velara caught his hand. Stay, she said softly. Let them thank you. After the speech, many people came to talk to Hyun. They shook his hand. They thanked him. Some of them were Lumineth, crying crystal tears and telling him he had given them hope. An old Lumineth man held Hyun's hands and said, You saved more than the princess. You saved all of us. You showed us that humans do not just take, they also give, they also care. Later in the evening, when the crowd had thinned and people were sitting at tables talking quietly, Princess Velara and Hyun sat together. They shared a simple meal, just like they had done so many times before. I have been thinking, Princess Velara said. I would like to visit Earth. To see the village by the sea where you grew up. To meet more humans. And learn more about your culture. You would be welcome, Hyun said. My people would be honored to host you. Would you show me around? She asked. Would you cook for me there too? Your grandmother's recipes? Of course, Hyun said. I would like that very much. Princess Velara smiled. I am still healing, she said. I still have bad days. Days when the grief comes back and feels too heavy. That is normal, Hyun said. Healing is not straight. It goes up and down. But it does go forward, even when it does not feel like it. Will you be patient with me? She asked. On the bad days? Always, Hyun said. That is what friends do. They sit with each other. On good days and bad days, Princess Velara took his hand. Her crystal fingers were warm, and her skin glowed softly. Then we are truly friends. We have Jung. Yes, Hyun agreed. We have Jung. Around them, the feast continued. Humans, and Lumineth, and aliens from 100 worlds. Talking, laughing, sharing food and stories, the hall was full of light, not just from the Lumineth but from the warm glow of connection and hope. Hyun looked around and thought about how strange life was. 3 months ago, he was just a cafeteria worker, hiding from his past, making simple food. Now he was sitting with a princess, surrounded by people who called him a hero, in the middle of a celebration he had helped create. He had not changed the galaxy with weapons or brilliant strategies. He had changed it by sitting with someone who was hurting, by offering a bowl of rice porridge, by refusing to look away from pain. Sometimes, the smallest acts created the biggest changes. What are you thinking about? Princess Velara asked. I am thinking that my grandmother would be proud, Hyun said. She always said that feeding people was sacred work, that sharing a meal was sharing life itself. I think she was right. She was very right, Princess Velara said. I am alive because you shared a meal with me. And because I am alive, my people have hope. Your grandmother's wisdom saved a civilization, Hyun smiled. She just wanted people to have warm food and someone to eat with. She kept it simple. Simple is often best, Princess Velara said. I have learned that from you. They sat together as the evening grew late. The feast would end soon. People would return to their quarters. Tomorrow, the work of building peace would continue. There would be challenges and setbacks. There would be hard days. But tonight, there was light. There was laughter. There was hope. And it had all started with one human who chose kindness over indifference, who chose to sit with pain instead of running from it, who understood that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply be present with another person. One bowl of rice porridge, one quiet conversation, one act of human compassion. Sometimes, that was all it took to change everything.